Hi, good day all. So, yeah, as I was saying, the universe had asked me to take a break from my videos and stuff um, because I've been making videos every day for the past year, right? Um, well, almost a year. I'm a week away from a year. But we all know that time is an illusion, right? I had discussed this previously. Time is an illusion. A million years of our human years might just be 1 second or a blink of an eye when it comes to God's time or the Creator's time, right? When it comes to creation, sustenance, dissolution, a million, 2 million, 3 million, 7 million years in our human time might just be a blink of an eye, right? So time is an illusion. So I am still on a break or a hiatus, right? I'm still on a break, but sometimes change of occupation is rest. Change of occupation is rest, right? So I was wearing my sociology lecturer's hat prior. So I will just switch hats for a moment in time and wear a philosophical hat, right? Because we should always engage philosophy. We should engage philosophy in our truth discovery process, right? As I always say, the philosophy of every culture on the face of the earth. If you go to the roots of the philosophy of every culture on the face of the planet, you will attain or achieve your true roots, which has nothing in reality to do with how you look, your hair, right? Does not have to do with these social characteristics, but it has to do with what is truth, right? And this is why I encourage people to utilize their own cultures in their search for truth. You don't have to go really beyond that, although it is advisable that you do, so that you do cross-comparative study and whatever, and come to a definite understanding. But if you just utilize your own culture, like how I did with Hinduism, and I also drew reference to Western culture and Egyptian culture and so on, with reference to Hermetic principles. Everything is everything, right? So you will be led back to the truth or source, regardless of which culture you search its philosophy for, right? So yeah, I'm on a hiatus from wearing my sociology hat or cap, right? And for a moment I'll just be wearing my philosophical hat. Now this was I was prompted to do this video, and besides that, I'm continuing doing these videos to just get this assignment completed once and for all, right? I have a spiritual assignment to complete, and it's best that I complete this assignment once and for all. And besides, the universe falls in love with stubborn hearted, the stubborn hearted, right? Stubborn, of course, in a good way. Stubborn in a good way, meaning stubborn in the direction of truth, stubborn in the direction of the laws of the universe itself. Not stubborn in a way that's like, not stubborn in a way that's, this is my way and I am not changing, I am not bending for anything or for anybody, right? Not stubborn in that way. Stubborn in the direction of truth and freedom. The universe falls in love with the stubborn hearted, right? So hence I am back here doing this video, and today I want to engage a philosophical question, which is the question, why am I suffering? Why am I suffering? Right? Now this question, as I was saying, the lives of myself and those I am connected with, at least for the period of this my sojourn for truth, love and freedom, at least for this period of time, my connections, the connections that I've formed and reconnections and so on. Our lives are to be used as lessons, right, to teach certain things, right? So this question was prompted by my uncle, who, as you all know, is sick right now, right? Not well at all. So this morning he would have asked a question which prompted this video, right? And it was a philosophical question that he asked. I'm sorry to be using this scenario given that he's sick and stuff, but that's how we grow, that's how we learn. That's the only way, actually, by using real life examples, right? It's the only way that we can evolve, really, through application of knowledge, right? So this morning he would have said, he made a certain statement. He said, I'm searching for answers, right? And this is regarding what's going on physically with his physical body and his mind in terms of his sickness and so on, right? So he said, I'm searching for answers. Why is this happening to me? Why am I suffering? So the philosophical question here is, why am I suffering? Right? And I mean, it's only so when someone is in this state, it's not an easy thing to accept the truth or the answers, although I did tell him in the moment what the answer was. I don't think he heard me though, because he has a hearing issue too, right? But this video is not for people of the past. It's not for our past generation. I'm using the scenario so that I could teach people of my generation, right? The point is really not to answer for him, because I am honestly of the opinion that sometimes you can't teach old dogs new tricks, for want of a better quote, right? Meaning that sometimes the past generation, they have already lived their life and they are set in their ways, and there's nothing that we can do, or time has basically passed or expired for us to really do anything to invoke their change, right? So this quote, this video is really for people of my generation going forward, right? Is using scenarios that around to provide the answers for my generation and for the future generations going forward in time, right? So the question is, the statement is, I am searching for answers, and the question is, why am I suffering, right? And this video is basically to provide the answer to that question. To provide the answer to that question, why am I suffering, right? As I was saying in my last video, the one where I talked about my hiatus and stuff, right? I mentioned that term of a period, a transition period in life, in which we must come face to face with the wrongs that we have committed, right? And this transition period involves suffering, right? This transition period involves immense and intense suffering. And the reason for this suffering is the wrong actions, because I mentioned in that video yesterday or day before when I did that video, right? I had mentioned that there comes a time when we must accept the wrongs that we have committed, meaning come face to face with the wrongs we have committed in life, right? And seek to change our behavior, right? And if we don't change our behavior, the universe will orchestrate events that would force us to search for truth, right? The universe will orchestrate particular events that will force us, and this period in time will involve suffering, right? This period in time will involve a period of suffering, right? transition periods in our life where we must come face to face with the wrong actions that we have committed in life and endeavor to change. And if we, in the face of being told truth and rejecting that truth, if in the face of being told or shown truth and rejecting that truth, right, the universe will orchestrate events to make us come to face with this truth, right? So if you have been for your entire life ingesting substances in your body, right? If you've been ingesting substances in your body for your entire life, and there comes a period in time where, as a result of this, you are suffering some form of illness, right? And you are being confronted with truth. You are being told, hey, this is the reason, right? This is the reason that you are going through this. Would you not want to pull back your behavior? As I'm saying, this video is for my generation going forward, to help my generation going forward, right? Would you not want to, in the face of seeing what is being caused by the wrong actions, by the actions that you've been committed, would you not want to change your behavior, to change your outcome, right? Would you not want to change your behavior in order to change your outcome, right? Whether physically, mentally, emotionally, so on, right? So this is in essence the answer to the question, why am I suffering, which is a philosophical question, right? It's a philosophical question, and the answer is philosophical also, right? The answer is, one, wrong action that we've been committed has led to our suffering, and further to that, if we backtrack from that, where does wrong action stem from? Wrong action stems from wrong thinking, right? Wrong action stems from wrong thinking, because in order to, before we act, right, before we act in the world, it is first a thought. Even if we act as human beings, I mean, because animals would act instinctively and so on, but as human beings with a intelligence that is much higher than the animal kingdom, right? As human beings, we possess intelligence, the capacity to make a choice, which is free will, right? As human beings who possess the capacity to make a free will choice, right? Even in our impulsive decisions and so on, even in sometimes our impulsive decision, it first stems from our thinking, right? It first stems from our thoughts. So wrong action, if we go back again and backtrack from this, why am I suffering? We would, and examine the truth about it, we would see that why am I suffering? The reason I am suffering is linked to thinking the wrong things, thinking the wrong thoughts, which leads to feeling the wrong way, and which leads to committing the wrong actions, right? So for example, my uncle has been smoking since he was 12, right? Smoking since he was 12. Smoking, as the doctor had mentioned, who came in to see him and so on, is it increases the risk for things like stroke. And on every cigarette packet you will see this, to quit smoking, visit this website, smoking is dangerous to health, smoking increases the risk of cancer, smoking increases the risk of strokes, do not smoke around your children, all these things, right? That's one, right? Taking care of our physical body by virtue of what we ingest, right? Same thing with, and that's on a physical level, right? What about things like consumption of meat and so on, right? Which is not just in taking care of our physical body, but this is in taking care of our spiritual body, right? Mental body, emotional body, all these things, right? So the answers, and same apply for the overconsumption of alcohol and all these things, right? Now, smoking by yourself and drinking by yourself is not immoral, right? It's not immoral per se, but when you do these things and you do it in a way that is excessive, right? Excessive. And when you are told about changing your behavior, you're stubborn in a negative way about it, and you believe that, okay, this is one life to live, and this is the only pleasurable thing that I am doing, right? This is the only pleasurable thing that I am engaged in. Why not do it? Why not do it? right? It is a wrong form of thinking, right? It is a wrong form of thinking which we should endeavor to rewire our brain about. Right now, I know that in my generation there are many young people. Well, I'm not so young anymore, right? But there are many young people, my generation and whoever is coming up after, right? They are engaged in these types of activities, and this is who my video is can't go back in time. We can't go back in time and say, hey, correct the older generation for their past wrongdoings, right? The most we could do for the sake of our generation, right, is to change that which they refuse to change, right? So instead of saying, oh, well, this is life's simplest pleasures, this is the only thing that I am doing, right, to consider the implications it has not only on yourself, but the people around you, right? To consider the implications, the outcome of these actions that you are engaging in, and long term, how it is going to impact you and how it is going to impact the people around you who you care about and who care about you, right? So this is all in the process of change and healing, and helping my generation and going forward to heal the behaviors that the past generations refuse to heal for themselves, right? So like I said, I'm still on my break. I just tipped off my sociological hat and I'm wearing the philosophical hat right now, answering the question, why am I suffering? The answer to this question is our refusal to examine our actions, and further to that, the failure to examine our own thought processes, right? And there's really no break when it comes to speaking the truth. प्रभु जी सदा है कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना, प्रभु जी सदा है कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना, जो रास्ता सही हो, जो रास्ता सही हो, उस पे सरा के रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना, प्रभु जी सदा ही कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना, प्रभु जी सदा ही कृपा हम पे बनाए रखना, जो रास्ता सही हो, जो रास्ता सही हो, उस पे सराहे रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना, कृपा बनाए रखना. Just to reiterate, the meaning of this song is that asking the creator of the universe to help us to remain on the right path, the path that which is right, to help us to remain or to continue walking on the path that is right, right? And even if we may lose everything, even if we may lose everything of this physical world, at least we will still have with us our honor intact. Even if we were to lose everything in this world, we would still have our honor attached to us because of the right path upon which we choose to tread.